what's going on, guys? Happy Monday. Today is February 16th. Back here with another new workshop, and today we're going to be talking about alarms, setting alarms as musicians, creatives, something we might already be doing in our daily lives anyway. I know for me, I work a job where I have to be in at 7 a.m. So what I usually do is set 3 alarms straight to usually wake up, 4:30, and then I set 5 and 5:30 just in case I oversleep the 4:30 one. But my job is like 30 minutes away, so I have to get up relatively early to get there. It's a whole thing, but I'm used to doing, setting alarms pretty much every day to some extent. And if I don't have to be at my day job, I'm relatively waking up around 7 or so. So I would consider myself a pretty early riser. I'm not as early as most people. Like I said, I'm waking up at 4:30 because I have to, not because I want to. Let's get that straight. But most days on a good day, I'm waking up around 7 or 7:30 anyway. But that is, just like how I do my daily routine, and that's not even tied into creativity. But this one today, I kind of wanted to maybe go over this article a little bit that I have, but I also kind of want to go over some strategies I've seen from other people as well, and just see what we could come up with ways to utilize alarms to your advantage. Because obviously there's something that we don't really look forward to the alarm going off every day or every morning, but it's something that you can utilize in a way that will be beneficial to you, not just in your music, in your creative journey, but just in your life overall. And we've talked about sleep schedules before, how important it is to have some type of routine going on. And I think this kind of, goes hand in hand with that a little bit. So the article I found is by Inc.com, and it's called The Strange Secret to How Successful People Use Alarm Clocks. It's not to wake up. Small strategy can set you up for big success. And this was written 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago to the date, in 2022. So let's get right into it. It says, we all know sleep is vital to our physical health and mental well-being. Good sleep is critical to your success. It can help you be a better leader, make you more creative, and even increase your life expectancy. But what many don't know is that it's not just how well you go to sleep or how long you stay asleep that matters, but also how you wake up. Because while sleep is a gatekeeper to good health, your alarm clock is the gatekeeper to success. This doesn't mean you need to join the 5 a.m. club or carve out an hour for exercise or meditation in the morning. Sure, many of the most successful people have made these things a part of their strategy and daily ritual, but when first starting out, it's less to do with having a great night's sleep, it does say it's less. For some reason, I thought it said it's more. It's less to do with having a great night's sleep, a high level of energy, or a mountain of motivation. The key to bridging the difference between where you are and where you want to be may be as simple as taking one small step, changing your alarm clock settings. While it might seem as though some are just wired differently, the difference may be as simple as how you set your alarm clock. The secret is, rather than setting your alarm for the latest possible time, set your alarm at the earliest possible time. That would provide a sufficient amount of sleep. This way, your alarm doesn't work to tell you when you have to get up or when it's okay to get up. And this is obviously the reason I set a 4:30 alarm or a 7 a.m., whichever one it is, because that is the time where, I would like to start the process of getting out of bed. Like most mornings, or I wouldn't say most mornings for me, but a lot of mornings, obviously, you feel like you don't want to leave bed because you're like, wow, I need more sleep, or I'm just too comfortable. Don't really want to get up right now. But I think hearing the first one will make you say, okay, time to start thinking about getting up and see where it goes from there. In other words, don't set an alarm when you need to be up by. Set your alarm by how long you actually need to stay in bed and nothing more. This way, it's set so that you get the right amount of sleep that is sufficient for you. And obviously, this can vary from day to day, especially as creatives. We have a lot of things going on where I don't know about you guys, but my day doesn't usually always look the same. Even if I'm doing, my daily routine as far as like making instrumental, sending emails, doing all that sort of thing, posting on social media. There's still things that come up during the week or during that day that I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done today because, it can't wait. It's something that is relatively urgent. So, there's those days where you might only be getting 4 hours of sleep in total. Other days you might get 6, or if you're lucky, you'll get 8. But, if it's inconsistent, like the work schedule, relatively speaking, your sleep schedule will therefore also be somewhat different every time. But I think you just got to do your best, do the best you can with that, and see where it goes. This way, it's okay to hit snooze because you'll end up getting out of bed and starting your day earlier than if you had set your alarm for the original time. And in the instances when you're not sleeping well, you don't have to check the time to know whether it's okay to get up. Granted, it won't matter what time you set your alarm clock for. If you genuinely don't want to get up, being a morning person is scientifically proven to make you more successful. I don't know about that per se, because I know successful people that are not morning people at all that totally have the complete opposite schedule where they do pretty much everything at night, which is wild. So I don't know per se. I think there's definitely benefits to it, but I also think everybody's different. So take that with a grain of salt. But the most successful morning people are typically pursuing something that motivates them to get out of bed. That's a great one too. I mean, if all you have is like your 9 to 5 or whatever it is, and you don't have passions or you don't have anything going like that, I can imagine it is probably pretty difficult. And I think over the years for me, ever since I started making music, it's been a lot easier for me to actually be a morning person because that motivation is there for me. And I always think about like, what can I do today to kind of move things along further in my journey? And that's kind of the motivator for me to get the day started on the right foot. So if you're doing something that doesn't make you excited to get up, then it might be a sign you're not doing the right thing for you. It doesn't mean you need to have the most exciting venture, but you need to be happy doing what you do in order to do it well enough to be successful. And that is the article. And I kind of just wanted to read that and go over that because I feel like it is something that kind of is worked into everything we do. And it's kind of that starting point. And for me, I'm a big energy person. I feel like the energy that you put into things is the energy you get out of things. And so if you're utilizing something like this in your daily schedule, this can go a long way for you. And it can also probably help you if you are a morning person, or if this somehow makes you a morning person, you just earned yourself more hours in the day, essentially, right? Because you will be caught up on sleep overall, and you'll have, who knows, maybe an hour, another 2 hours, maybe another 3 hours, depending on how you've been, going through your sleep schedule and when you wake up, more importantly. So I think that's important. I also wanted to touch on, this has nothing to do with the article, ways that you can use alarms, totally not sleep related. I can talk. I've seen a few different people utilize alarms, specifically on their phones, for blocking out spaces to create. One of my favorite producers, and he's big here on YouTube, is named Kalen Ellis. And Kalen does a lot of sample challenges and like beat challenges where he gives himself usually 5 to 10 minutes. And what he does is he'll get the iPhone out and he'll say, Siri, set an alarm for 10 minutes. And he'll start creating for 10 minutes. And then once that alarm goes off, he dead stops, like he's done, no matter if he's in the middle of it or whatever. And his whole thing, from what I understand with that, is it builds the muscle memory up to the point where you get much better at creating more in less time. So it's almost like training, like how an athlete actively trains to get better and stronger. It's like strengthening your creative mind to get better. That personally is not how I create. I try to do that in ways, but I usually don't time myself for creation, mostly because, first of all, I feel like I'm not as talented as Kalen Ellis. Let's be clear about that. He's an incredible musician. So that is one reason why, but for me, it just doesn't work that way. I think my whole thing is I would rather take a little more time on an idea to make it feel really special than to just throw something together in 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm also not someone that likes to come back on ideas a ton. I like to get the idea done, pretty much fully done right then and there. I don't like to come back on it in a week or a month. Sometimes I do, but most of the time when I'm just making, fresh ideas, I want to get it done that day and just move on to the next thing. So, but that is a suggestion. I mean, if you're the type of person that wants to kind of get better at being quicker with what you do and your workflow, it helps your workflow. It helps you strengthen your creative mind, like I said. And I think it's just something that can kind of be good for you in the long run, even if you don't stick with it every single day. And like I said, he's the one that I discovered that method from, but I'm sure there's plenty of other people that do that. Mix engineers probably do it where they have a timer to get a whole song done. Singers, songwriters, maybe if you are a songwriter, you could do a 10-minute block, see what you can write in 10 minutes. Like maybe challenge yourself, put on a beat and say, okay, I'm going to see how much I can write in 10 minutes. Because that would really challenge you. I mean, you'd have to think of the right stanzas, the right words to use, ways to rhyme it, ways to do double entendres. Like that would really challenge you. And even if you don't stick with it, it will help you to get better at your craft. So that's another way that I wanted to mention that you can utilize alarms. But I think alarms, they're pretty multifaceted. They can be used in different ways, stopwatches, alarms, all that good stuff. But I just wanted to go over this today because I felt like it's important for the sleep schedule, but it can be important just in your own process, your daily process, whatever it is. And it is one of those things that is important enough where it can benefit or derail, hopefully benefit your everyday life, even outside of music. So something I utilize, something that you guys might want to think about utilizing too. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave the website in the description. Definitely check it out, or website article. It's from a website, but I'm going to leave the article in the description if you want to read it again. It's relatively short, but definitely look up Kalen Ellis here on YouTube and check out some of what he does. He has a ton of videos, probably thousands of videos at this point, but that's just one of the many great things that Kalen does that I really appreciate and love his channel for sure. But even go further than that, like look up other ways that you could utilize alarms in your journey, and not just creatively, but just your life in general, and see where it goes. And I guess let me know in the comments if you use alarms, how do you use them, and what ways do you want to use them moving forward. So that's all I have for you guys today. We're going to be back on March 2nd, and we're going to be talking about dieting. So like, what does a creative's musician's diet look like? And I can tell you right now, I haven't even done research for this, but my diet sucks. Like, I am not very good at creating a healthy, sustainable diet. So that's something I'm actively working on in my own life. But I want to kind of research, like, is there something that might be different in a creative's diet than someone else's diet? Like, obviously, dieting is super important, but what specifically about being a creative would you want to lean into? Like, what types of foods would you want to cut out? What types of foods would you want to add in? So I'm sure there's a lot of cool things I'm going to find with that. So I'm going to need that couple weeks to really dive in, and I'm excited for that one. But thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the second one with another one. Until then, stay safe, stay positive, and have a good one, guys.